everyone, welcome to Jolly Molly TV. Today we're going to do another fun block in Kimberbell's A Quilty Little Christmas wall hanging project. In today's video we're going to stitch out this block right here that says Sending Holiday Wishes. This is going to be fun. So go ahead and grab your plastic pouch system that's labeled Holiday Wishes, and let's head over to the embroidery machine and let's get started stitching. Okay, we're at the machine. I have a bobbin with white thread down below, and I put white thread at the top of my machine. And then I've loaded my 5 by 7 inch hoop with a piece of the Polynotia mesh stabilizer. And the reason I put white thread in the top of my machine is because if you pull your plastic pouch system, this is Holiday Wishes, and if you're using the kit, your fabric is white. Alright, so I want the fabric to blend in. I fused the back of it. We got the white fabric with little white polka dots. Very cute. So I'm going to put that to one side. Then I'm also going to grab a piece of batting that is pre-cut 5 by 7 inches. And then I'm going to put that aside. Alright, so we've got that. So now let's go to the screen cam and load the design. There we go. I've got a Baby Lock Destiny machine. If you have something similar, you can follow along. It's just like the Brother Dream machine. So I'm going to click Embroidery. I'm going to go to my flash drive where I keep all my files, and I'm going to go to my Quilty Little Christmas folder. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to pull in the quilting designs because we're doing block by block quilting, which means we're putting the quilting down first and then stitching the main embroidery on top of that. So I need Christmas 14, which is this one right here. And I'm looking for a 4 by 6 inch design. Cool, it's got multiple ornaments. That'll be fun. So let's click Set. We don't have to do anything to it. I'm going to click Add, and now I'm going to bring in the main embroidery file. Okay, so I'm looking for the Sending Holiday Wishes folder, number 2. And there is the Sending Holiday Wishes 5 by 7 file. That's the one we want to do. I'm going to click Set. It's going to bring it in right on top where we need it to be. So all we have to do is click Embroidery. And we're ready to go. So let's go back to the hoop cam. And we're ready to start stitching. See how fast that is? So we're going to leave our white thread up at the top of the machine, and we're going to stitch out the placement line for the batting. Okay, now I'm going to lay down my batting, making sure that I have covered all of that placement line. Put the foot down, and let's tack down the batting. White thread still up on top. So now I want you to take the hoop off the machine, and I want you to trim away all of this excess batting from around the outside of that stitch line, and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, now that I have all that trimmed up, now I'm going to put the foot down, and then we're going to stitch out the placement line for the fabric. White thread still up on top. Okay, so now I'm going to lay my fabric down and just center it over that design. You can feel for the batting and kind of get an idea if you have about the same amount of fabric on each side. You don't have to be perfect because all of this side is going to get trimmed off anyway in the end, but I just try to center it the best I can. Once you have it in place, put the foot down, and we're going to tack this down. All right, now for the fun part. I'm also going to quilt this in the white thread because I want the quilting to blend in, and then I want the message that says Sending Holiday Wishes to be the focal point, all right? So I'm going to put the foot down and stitch out the quilting. Enjoy. 2 minutes in real life. Here we go. Okay, that turned out really cool. Look at that. Can you see that quilting? That is cool. All right, so let's put that back on the machine. I'm going to swap out my white thread and I'm going to put in a green. I think this is like olivine green, which is going to be for the fern detail down here on the end. I think that's what it's called. Sorry, pine needles detail. Not a fern, it's a pine needle. All right, so put the color thread that you want for your pine needles in the top of your machine. And this is pine needles 1. All right, so let's stitch this out. This is only 1 minute in real life stitch out. All right, make sure you don't have any loops in your thread before you start. Here we go. Okay, so now we're going to switch out the thread and choose another green color, a little bit darker, for pine needles 2 accent. All right, so go ahead and load your machine with that color green thread, and we'll do pine needles 2. I guess this is going to be like an accent color on top of this one. That'll be cool. All right, oops, I have a loop. You know what I have to do. Have to get that loop out. There we go. Now we can go. This is a 1 minute stitch out. Okay, so I have a little straggler thread that was generated when the needle tacked down. So I want to see if I can snip that now and make that nice and pretty. We got our pine needles. Okay, now I'm going to switch out my thread to the pink because the pink is going to be branches on 2 sides of the block. All right, so go ahead and load your machine with your pink thread and we can do this. This is a 2 minute in real life stitch out. Isn't this fun? I love seeing these blocks come to life. Never gets old. All right, let's do this. Foot down and let's stitch out the branches. All right, so that looks cool. So now I'm going to switch my thread out to the color green that I want my whole text to be. This is called Sending Holiday Wishes. It's all going to be in this one color. So I want to make sure that you choose the color thread you like for your text. Load that thread in the top of your machine. And then I want you to check your bobbin thread. Make sure you have at least, I'd say, a half to 2/3 of a bobbin in here because this is a 15-minute stitch out, but it's thread heavy. So I want to make sure that you don't run out of bobbin thread as we do this, okay? So again, this is a 15-minute stitch out in real life. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy stitching out the text, Sending Holiday Wishes. Here we go. That looks super cool. I love that type of text, especially the satin stitch text. To me, it's just so classic and elegant. Love it. We'll take care of those jump stitches at the end. So right now we have one more stitch out to do. We need to stitch out the stars. So we're going to do the stars in the red thread like Kimberbell has. So if you wanted to follow along and do the same, put a red thread up at the top of your machine. This is not a dark red. This is just a red. It's almost, mine is almost like a vintage red, which is what I chose for this project. And I think it looks really nice with the pink. All right, so let's stitch out the 3 stars. It's only 1 minute in real life. Here we go. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Okay, so now I'm going to do my jump stitches. And I love using these curved scissors because I can literally get right up underneath that piece of thread and trim it without having too much to worry about damaging the fabric underneath or the stabilizer underneath. I got one more little jump stitch right here. Nope. There we go. I highly recommend having a pair of these curved scissors because it makes your life a lot easier. There's a link in the description below to where I get mine on Amazon. All right, so isn't that pretty? Love it. All right, so let's take the hoop off the machine. Let's go over to the table and I'll show you how to finish up this block. All right, that is another pretty block. Look at that. I really enjoy a good satin stitch, especially when it's in letters like that. That is so classy looking. All right, so the last thing we have to do is square this block up. We're going to be using these outside stitch lines, which is what we use to tack down the fabric. And we're going to square this block up to 6.5 inches by 4.5 inches. And I'm going to measure and make sure that from this stitch line to that stitch line is 6.5 inches. And from the top to the bottom is just shy of 4.5 inches. So that is how we're going to square this block up. We're going to use those outside stitch lines, all right? So I'm going to line this one up. This one's not straight. Let's try the other side. This side is straighter. Not perfect, but still straight. So when it's not straight on both sides, I'm going to use this ruler line and put that on this stitch line here. And then I can approach this outer stitch line and make a straight cut based on that. Can I see that stitch line? Yes, I can. All right. And because that stitch line isn't 100% straight, you're going to have a little bit of thread left after you cut. Don't worry about that because that will disappear in your 1/4 inch seam allowance when you sew the blocks together. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that at all. So now I'm going to line it up and I'm going to go 6.5, 2, 4, 6.5. I'm totally going to use my ruler to line up with the mat, making sure that I've got the block straight over here. There we go. Can I see that stitch line? I can see part of it here outside the ruler, and I can see the other part under the ruler. So yes, I can see that stitch line. Again, because it's not 100% straight, there's stitches here, but that will disappear in your seam allowance. The main thing is that your block is the correct size. All right. All right, so now I'm going to line that up. Here, I got my ruler. This is a straight line. So I can go just past that stitch line. Can I see the stitch line? Yes, I can. Make my cut. Turn this around the other side. Okay, now I'm going to line this line up with the edge of the block. I'm going to line this line up on my mat. So it's 4.5. Can I see that stitch line? Yes, I can see part of it right here outside. The other part's just under. Make my cut. We are good. All right. And that is how you square your block up to 4.5 by 6.5. Isn't that cool? You did it. Congratulations on another block successfully done. That's awesome. All right. So I hope you had as much fun making this block today as I have. And I hope to see you here again on Jolly Molly TV for more fun and more cute blocks in Kimberbell's A Quilty Little Christmas wall hanging project. And until I see you again, take care and happy stitching. Bye-bye.